Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Game Sharks. I am your host, Jimmy Good, and I'm back, baby, but I'm not alone. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Corey Lang. Corey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing just fine. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Yeah, you leave, you give me the show, you come back, you give, you take.
Yep.
What's going on here?
What can I say?
What kind of a person are you?
I'm a Hollywood actor, baby. But thank you for having me back. You've been doing a great job with the show. And it's just nice to be back in person.
Yes.
Up on the table and stuff. Look at that. Isn't that fun?
I'm happy you're back taking the lead.
Well,
I'm happy to be in the passenger seat.
For now.
As long as you haven't been drinking. Have you been drinking? Because you are behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't have seatbelts on this chair.
I try not to drink too much. I'm mostly a Coca-Cola guy.
Yeah, this is a PC family show here.
Exactly.
No alcohol.
We would love to be sponsored by Coca-Cola
right.
Or Pepsi or whatever.
Just not Jack Daniels.
Not Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it's a family show.
Yeah, exactly. But we're here to talk about video games because we love video games so much. And, this week we normally would start off with kind of chumming the waters on these episodes, but we haven't been playing as much. We kind of play one thing, and we're going to save that for later because it's kind of special.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this little thing that popped up, this little show, not a huge budget. No, I'm just kidding. That is the Video Game Awards, which came out last week at this point, at the time of this recording.
Right.
And basically, a lot of people tout it as like the Oscars of video games. It's a bunch of awards, a bunch of announcements, a bunch of celebrity guests popping up out of nowhere. But I wanted to talk to you about that, more specifically, the announcements themselves, because there were some really interesting, cool ones. And I want to start with one personally that shook me. I stood up, I was jumping around, I was like, no way, it's this. And it was, and that is Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Yeah. And I texted you about this, and I was like, it's here. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So did you play the first Warhammer Space Marine?
I did, yeah. It was for the 360 era, right?
Yep.
So it was 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
At the time, I remember it being really cool. I don't have a big history with like the property of Warhammer.
Likewise.
Or any of like the RTS games or anything. I just remember that game coming out. Was it kind of in the shadows of Gears of War?
It was around then. A lot of people compared it to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of over the shoulder shiny armor, big bulky kind of assault rifle kind of dudes. Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I just remember enjoying it, and I was very surprised that they announced a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, myself included, or I should say not a lot, but a contingent, they really wanted this to happen. And it's cool that it is getting made because unlike Gears of War, which is a third-person shooter, there's third-person shooting elements in that first game, but a lot of it's melee combat, and the way to regenerate health in that game is to get in there and to fight a bunch of orcs as this big, hulking, 9-foot-tall space marine, and just ripping them apart. And it was glorious. So many orcs on screen, and just ripping and tearing, Doom style. And just the fact that it's coming back and they're making another one, I was just so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh. And not only was the single player pretty good, it had Mark Strong as the main character.
Right.
He voiced him. I believe they've recast him now because I didn't see him for this one.
Yeah. Wasn't he on stage though? At the Game Awards?
Was he on stage? Maybe at one point.
I think so.
I don't know.
Tell you what.
Okay.
I'll put some B-roll up. If he's there, you're going to see him. If he's not, you're not going to see him. How about that?
Because there's another guy there that they had with the big chain sword.
Okay, maybe that was who I'm thinking of.
I think that's the new guy. But it's like the same character from the past.
Got it. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But I like the fact that game was so great. It was this kind of action B-movie, like just, fun,
a game you don't
story.
see very often nowadays.
No, you don't.
Right.
And it had a really robust co-op system. It was really cool. So the main campaign was its own thing. Then they had this co-op horde mode, and then they had multiplayer, kind of Halo-esque. But man, I was just like so happy to see like Space Marine 2. I was like, no way this is coming. No, yep, we're making it. Because I was watching that cinematic, which I love cinematic trailers, but they burned me so many times where I'm like, this can't be what I want it to be, or it's not going to be like the actual game.
Sure.
And then when I saw that happening, I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
This is some other 40K game.
Yeah.
And then it showed up, and I'm like, Space Marines. I love you so much. So shout out to my friend Sarah, who was going to be just as excited as I was, because we played like the horde mode together, and we might have been the only 2 people on the planet playing it, but it was still really fun.
Yeah. Are we talking like 2010, 2011?
Yeah, around then.
In that era?
Yep,
okay.
yep. Mm-hmm.
So slightly later in the 360 life.
Yes.
Or somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I recall.
Yeah, and I'm just excited, especially with the technology now, to see how many creatures and things they can get on screen.
Totally.
Because they used to get a lot on there, and I used to think like, oh, is my 360 going to be okay with this?
Yeah.
And it was fine. You know? I was like, okay, that's good. But yeah, like you, my 40K experience has been me attempting to be good at Total War Warhammer and being very bad at it.
Yeah.
Or the Dawn of War series, that was where I started back in the day.
Sure.
Great. Those were great games too.
Sure.
But yeah, I just want to bring that up because I was like, I'm very passionate.
Yeah,
excited.
I'll be curious to see what they do. I mean, obviously that was a very single-player driven game at the time.
Yeah, for the
this
most
was
part.
a time where games of service really wasn't, as aggressive as it is now. I mean, do you think that this will have a long single-player campaign? Do you think it's something where they'll have like a short campaign and some games of service elements with the multiplayer?
Yeah. I would imagine it's going to be more like that. Plus, in the trailer itself, you don't really see the main guy as much, and you see like a trio fighting.
Sure.
And I think the 3-player co-op was a lot more in the horde mode.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of how games used to be.
Yeah.
Like 8 to 10, maybe 15-hour campaign. You've got your co-op horde mode. You've got your multiplayer, which is live servicey now.
Yeah, or it could be like, Avengers, Square Enix Avengers or Crystal Dynamics, where you could totally go solo on this, but maybe it'll be filled in with AI. I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, Space Marines. I love them so much. I don't know. We'll talk about Spartans later, which are similar to Space Marines, but they are different.
Yeah.
I also wanted to bring up the fact that we finally got to see the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Right.
Finally.
Right.
Did you get Sunset Overdrive vibes, or is that just me?
A little bit, just like with the daytime colors and stuff.
Well, that,
maybe.
like the movement, moving around, shooting very quickly, jumping up a building.
Very punk rock too. At the same time.
Yeah.
I think even wasn't there like some heavy metal music playing in the background?
A
little bit. Yeah, I guess now that you mention it, totally.
Yeah, I was trying to place it. I was watching, like, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. And then I was like, oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Well, so I've heard mixed theories, and I guess I haven't dug into to get a concrete answer if this is more like Avengers, or if this is more like a single-player jumping character kind of scenario, where you can jump to any characters or you pick one character. I've also heard the Guardians of the Galaxy rumor, where it's like the new Guardians game where you're just playing Star-Lord. I don't think that's the case here because they showed gameplay from multiple characters in the Suicide Squad. So I don't know what kind of game this is.
I think it's going to be co-op shooter.
Got it.
That
makes more sense.
If you play by yourself, you switch between.
Got it.
Yeah, because at this point, if they don't let you play as or King Shark, I should say,
that would be a huge
I'd be very frustrated. I'd be like, they're like, you get to play as Deadshot. I'd be like, yay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's great. Or if they kept Harley Quinn away from people would lose their minds. Like,
totally.
Like, I need to play as Harley.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll be something that, like, if you do want to play alone, that it's AI and you can, like, hop between kind of Final Fantasy VII style-ish, maybe.
Got it. That would be cool.
With the traversal mechanics and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you interested, or are you still kind of confused about it?
I loved the Batman games they did. Those
Rocksteady, right?
Rocksteady, those were very single-player driven, open-world games. I was a little disappointed that they didn't revisit that. I mean, I know it's time. The last two Suicide Squad movies, I think, were fine. I think they were entertaining enough. I think it's odd that they spent 5 to 6 years working on a Suicide Squad game.
Yeah.
I think it looks fun. I'm still so soured by that past Avengers game, where I'm just not interested in playing a hero-based co-op game at the moment. I think it looked really fun. I'll definitely check it out.
Okay.
It's not high on my list of games I'm excited about.
More Gotham Knights guy, maybe.
Yeah, I'm excited about that Gotham Knights game for sure. That's something I'm more excited about.
Yeah, me too.
But I'll keep an open mind. We'll see. Obviously Rocksteady's a great developer, and I love those past Batman games. So just based on that resume alone, I have to give it the benefit to be open-minded, but
Right.
skeptical.
Sure.
So-
There's nothing wrong with that. A little skepticism.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I remember seeing this a long time ago, and we just kept getting cinematic trailers.
Right.
And I was like, why have we not seen this thing?
Right.
And now finally seeing it in action, I was like, okay, now
Yeah.
we can start to understand what it is
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
But Rocksteady, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
Where's Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, driving me crazy.
Sure.
You got Deadshot in there. Deathstroke
Right.
would be perfect.
Totally.
But this is a game that also, because of the Suicide Squad, like we were talking about before,
Yeah.
this would really lend itself super well if they had the time and the money to make other characters to get down the line.
Sure.
Like, you might see Polka Dot Man.
Sure.
Maybe, right? You
Right.
know, with this kind of style.
True.
But
True.
Gotham Knights, I'm still waiting on that one. That's
Yeah.
supposed to be 2022.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hope so.
You know, it's called Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I
Why are you trying to be so edgy? Why don't you just give us a Justice League game? I mean, they just don't want to give us a playable Superman character.
Okay.
I just don't
Yeah.
understand. Maybe the engineering mechanics behind a Flash character would be too complex.
Sure.
Maybe they couldn't figure that out. Maybe
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't want to give us a playable Superman. I just don't understand why.
The last one was Superman Returns, I think it was. The Brandon Routh.
Was that a thing?
That was
that
a
a
game.
game?
Yeah, it was like an
So that
open
was like-
world fly around.
Was it like a PS2 game, or would that have been a 360 game?
Yeah, it might have been a 360.
Oh yeah, because we're
maybe.
talking like 2006.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
No, Superman is in this game.
Yes.
He's gone. He's gone
evil.
off the deep end.
Yeah,
He's got the
Brainiac.
Jack Daniels.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Get him off Jack.
Yeah. Superman's got some problems in this game. So he's like kind of like one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Quote, because obviously who knows where this game's gonna go.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're playing as the Justice League, going up against the Justice League.
The Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Sorry,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
up against the Justice League.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the.
That's your hook, right?
Yeah, that's the
Like,
hook.
you can fight Batman
Yeah,
or something. Try
yeah.
to kill him or something.
So
Edgy. Yeah.
yeah,
They're
I don't
trying to
know,
shake it
man.
up.
I'm not with it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, would you be with the fact that Wonder Woman game from Monolith is coming? The guys who've done
Right.
Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, which were
Right.
basically like these kind of Assassin's Creed kind of like games, but
Yeah.
with the Batman Arkham combat put
Yeah.
in very bloody.
Yeah.
Big on the Nemesis system, like enemies remembered you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
but
shortest
a Wonder
trailer
Woman
I've ever seen.
I know, yeah, it's
That's,
like-
it was you blink and that Wonder Woman trailer was over. It was just kind of the pan up, very
'cause
very
there's-
clearly.
There've been rumors about that for a long, long time.
Has
about
there?
a Wonder Woman
Okay.
game or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like that team.
Yeah.
But again, there are a lot of mechanics you have to consider with somebody who can fly and is like indestructible and has all those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is a cool concept, at least.
I'm a fan of Wonder Woman. I like those past Patty Jenkins movies.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, I think she's an awesome Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I think it's a great time to be a Wonder Woman fan.
Yeah.
I got nothing against her.
Yeah.
More power to them. This is a game. I am much more excited about this game than I am for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just got a teeny tiny glimpse at a cinematic.
Yeah.
Again, you blink and that trailer was over.
Yep.
Very much like, hey, we're working on this. Here's the team. There's a new Wonder Woman game come. So I'm jazzed about this game. I
Okay,
want to
yeah.
see more. I love the team behind it. I'm all in.
Cool.
I want to see what this is.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Speaking of cinematic trailers, though, and you're kind of the resident spooky boy.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2.
Speaking of 360B games.
Right? It's
oh
like,
my
what?
gosh.
Is that Jake Gyllenhaal?
No,
It
I
looks
looked
like
into
him.
it.
Okay, thank
the
you.
likeness. It's the same actor that played the original Alan Wake.
Okay.
It was
that's
the
good.
eyes.
It's the eyes. I
It's
looked
the
at it like-
eyes.
I was like, did they recast or something? Okay.
You're not alone. I went straight to the interwebs, and yeah, everybody thought it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't think they have the budget to get Jake Gyllenhaal.
my buddy Jake,
You know, I mean, Remedy Games, they created Max Payne. Maybe they're still,
Yeah, a
you know,
little bullet
banking
time.
off that Max Payne money, but
Yeah.
I don't think they have enough to scoop up Jake Gyllenhaal. No, so I mean, this was my game of the show.
Cool.
You know, I love Remedy. I love Alan Wake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as soon as they started talking about like, the story, like I knew that this was an Alan Wake game.
Totally.
Yeah, Alan Wake. I think that game came out 2008, something like that.
Yes.
2000
It's been 10 years, they say, since the last one. So maybe
That's
that
it?
was. Maybe it was like 2011.
Wow. Okay. I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see so around the Skyrim era of the 360 life.
There's before Skyrim,
Yeah.
and then there's post Skyrim.
Yeah,
That's
right.
how video games
That's
work.
how people. Yeah. 11, 11, 11. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
That should be our new thing on the show.
Just silly release
Be like,
day.
It was before Skyrim, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Pokemon Blue was before
Yeah,
Skyrim?
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked up a copy of Alan Wake Remastered for PS5.
really?
So I'm playing through it right now.
Okay.
Holds up really well.
Cool.
But here's the thing. So this sequel, huge surprise, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know, the last game they did was Control, which was I think a fairly big success for them.
Yeah, Control's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't love Control. I
Okay.
tried really hard. I
Okay.
couldn't get into it. So I'm really excited personally for them to revisit Alan Wake because,
Yeah.
again, I think they're a great studio. Sam Lake is still there. I mean, that guy's been there. I mean, he is Max Payne, right? He's the likeness of Max
Okay,
Payne.
yeah.
So he's back. He's the creative director. Survival horror.
Do you think that the love for Resident Evil 7 and 8, mostly 7, and how they've restructured that, obviously that's first person, but how much love we see again for survival horror to that level helped? Like, they've been working on this for a while, but maybe they saw that and they're like, we can do something like this. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
You know, like, because it seems like some of those games are really cropping back up and they're really beloved.
Right.
You know, versus just like some of those that are like Outlast, where it's like you see a thing and you do run away.
Sure.
Like it sounds like they're trying to do something very different with this one.
Yeah, he was at the Game Awards and they talked about it.
Yeah.
He said this is something the team has wanted to do for a long time. I think it's very simple. I think they've wanted to do a survival horror game for a long time.
Sure.
They know fans have been asking for an Alan Wake sequel for a long time, so I think it was kind of a perfect love marriage. It was time.
Yeah.
And they have the tech for it. And yeah, so we should probably back up a little bit. Alan Wake was kind of this Twin Peaks kind of mystery action game. There wasn't really a lot of survival horror elements.
Yeah.
It was very spooky and psychedelic, but it wasn't like survival by nature. It wasn't overly difficult. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It's a ways off, so I think it's going to be a long time until we know for sure.
That was another one of those, like, it looks really pretty in the trailer, and I'm just like, I'm waiting to see it. Because when they first showed it, even I'm not like an Alan Wake guy, but I saw like the little murder scene out in the woods, and I was like, oh, it's probably like an Alan Wake thing. And I was like, there it is.
Yeah. So you weren't a big fan of the original.
I didn't play it. No, I
You
saw
didn't play
stuff.
it. Okay.
You had the flashlight and stuff, and you're walking around in the dark.
Yeah, that was the mechanic. You kind of use the flashlight to highlight the enemy, and then you can use your pistol to follow up. It's kind of a 1-2 punch combo.
Gotcha, like
that
Doom
was
3.
That was the hook. Yeah, that was the hook. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say just because it's so random.
Yeah.
And they didn't show a lot. We're still probably 2 years out from that game. I'm excited they're doing it. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. Speaking about another game, I have to bring this up. And I love my Star Wars so much.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars Eclipse had this cinematic trailer, which I thought at first was an expansion to the MMO, like the Old
sure.
Republic. I was like, this looks like one of those really gorgeous trailers. And they're talking about this coming up. Like, any feeling hype on this?
Yeah, David Chase, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's Quantum Dream?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
I think so. Is it Quantum? Yeah, I think you're right.
Quantum Dream. Yeah, so their first game, if I remember correctly, was Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
And it was a murder mystery that had like 21 different endings or something insane.
Yes.
With a big twist ending. I loved that game.
Okay.
I thought it was revolutionary at the time. I mean, obviously, point-and-click adventure games have been around for a long, long time, dating back to the Sierra games on PC in the 90s. So this was kind of just an evolution of point-and-click adventure games. Text-heavy. Combat was limited to like quick-time events, you know. I didn't play Beyond Two Souls.
Okay.
That was with, the actor's name slips me, and then the one after that was...
Oh, you're talking Willem Dafoe and Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, correct.
Yes.
And then they followed it up with Detroit Beyond Human?
Become Human.
Become Human.
I think that's what it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I didn't play either of those games.
Yeah.
So I haven't played a David Chase game since Heavy Rain.
Okay.
So now they're back with Star Wars.
So
there's your history lesson.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it's probably gonna be something along those lines.
Right.
Probably not as
Point-and-click
action-heavy.
adventure game in the Star Wars universe.
Probably will look great.
Yes.
It'll be very pretty.
Right.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up and I was like, wow, there's so many more Star Wars things coming out now. It felt like for a while there was just kind of like this like nothing for a bit. And there's like Battlefront was one of them, and then they had, you know, Jedi Fallen Order, and that was kind of it. And now it's like, okay, now we're starting to get things like a point and click adventure, kind of, sort of.
Right.
You know, and then obviously KOTOR coming back. So that's also a point and click adventure. I don't care what people say. No.
Turn-based. Yeah.
No, I kid.
Yeah, this game will have to have a really killer story with killer dialogue and story, you know, different paths. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know what else they could do other than make the game look really beautiful and have a great story, but also at the same time pleasing diehard Star Wars fans.
Yes.
That's kind of it, right? They're not known for combat games.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
You've tempered my expectations, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Just because I don't want to, you know, be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be incredible, and be like, oh, that's what this is.
Yeah, the writing has to be killer.
Yeah.
That's really kind of the thing here.
Yeah, and it will get compared to Knights of the Old Republic as far as that goes. People will be like, that's the best written Star Wars game, and so you got to bring it to that level at least, so that way people aren't like, oh, this is your only thing you're doing. You know, kind of. Another thing I have to mention, and I swear Studio MDHR didn't pay me to do this, but I am wearing a Cuphead shirt. And we're finally getting that release date for the Delicious Last Course, or the DLC, basically.
Sure.
With some new, I can already see it. I can already see the stress.
Yeah.
And I can already see the pain for myself personally.
Smashing those $65 controllers into pieces.
But loving the attention to detail and the art style. But I forget where your Cuphead journey begins and ends. Yeah,
I have an interesting history, as you know, with difficult games, because I love the Dark Souls games. Those are so very different from 2D shooter platforms like Cuphead. One thing we'll talk about next episode with Game of the Year is Metroid Dread, which I have a lot to say on that, and I'll save those comments. But Metroid Dread taught me a lot about patience with 2D boss fights.
Oh, sure.
And I'm interested to go back to Cuphead after playing Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that.
Cool.
I never finished Cuphead. I think I own it on multiple platforms because I wanted to play it on the go, so I bought it on Switch.
Oh, perfect.
Love the art style of those games.
Yeah, you get angry in public.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to it.
Cool.
Now, that's all I really can say for now. So are you excited about the DLC? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, well, the fact that they've been teasing it for a very, very long time, and they've had to push it back a few times, and they finally have that release date. They had that. There was the trio who came out and sang, and there was this whole kind of thing about it. They had the little model trailer, it was their little clay models or whatever it was at the Game Awards, or maybe not clay, but whatever those things were. And I was like, wow, this is a lot to be we're finally getting this thing out, because this is something that's been pushed a lot. And I was just like, oh, I want to see what they've got cooked up.
Yeah.
Because I streamed that whole thing, Grim Matchstick, 3 hours of my life, but I got him. I wish I could buy a plushie.
Is that the end boss?
No, he's the green dragon in the middle.
Oh, right. I think I got past. I remember the green dragon.
Yeah,
maybe that's where I'm stuck.
He's tough for me.
Okay.
Maybe not for others.
Okay.
I was like, man, finally. And I was like, I brought this shirt home for this show to talk about it. So I was like, I have to bring up Cuphead.
Nice.
Because wearing the shirt is my badge of honor to be like, I beat it. I don't think they would let you buy this shirt unless you beat the game.
Okay.
I don't know how you. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I was gonna say.
Went to Hot Topic and I was like, I swear I beat it. And they're like, okay, sure you did.
Right. Is that Jack Daniels I smell in your breath, sir?
I haven't touched it. I wanted to bring up this because you would have more love for this than I would. Sonic.
Man, they've had bad history with 3D open worldy Sonic games. I've wanted an open world Mario game for so long, so I'm kind of curious to see if this will scratch any of that itch.
Yeah.
The movement in Sonic has never felt great.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's why they can't make that Flash game.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're like, we'd have to put Flash.
They just looked at Sonic and they're like, look at Sonic.
Look at this. He's taking 90-degree turns. We can't have this, you know?
Yeah. Sonic Mania is a great game.
Okay.
That was kind of the re-release on Switch, the 2D the one that they brought back that people loved.
Sure.
That's probably the last Sonic game I played.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Again, no gameplay.
Sure.
It was just kind of a teaser trailer, showed some open landscapes.
Yep.
The open zones.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Lukewarm.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
Like I said, I'm not a big Sonic guy.
Right.
I was like, I feel like I need to, for the Sonic fans out there, at least
Yeah.
mention it, because this
Yeah.
is something that's like hopefully a little different.
Yeah.
But maybe still what you want. I never want to offend the
Yeah.
Sonic folks. Like.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is I think the highlight, it's a weird thing to say, especially if you're not a huge Sonic fan, but I think the highlight for me was the Sonic portion of the Game Awards.
Really?
I thought Ben Schwartz was really funny.
Yeah. And
I think he did a great job. He pulled out that old DVD. I thought that bit was really funny.
Yeah.
I thought the new movie looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's hard to be negative on Sonic right now.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's had a rough history. We
Yeah.
got to give him some slack.
This is the Goodwill Tour.
Right. Those Genesis games are just not great.
Sure.
They're just not great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sonic
okay.
fans.
Man.
You were fooled.
I was like, yeah.
They pulled Sonic, I really don't want to be negative on Sonic right
Sure.
now. I'll be optimistic. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a lot to say.
That's okay. I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring it up just in case.
Yeah.
Last few things I want to quickly mention here before we go to the break. We saw a little bit of Gollum, the cinematic trailer, which I is still amazed that is a game.
Right. It's been around for a long time, too.
Yeah, it's been something they've been working on. Slitterhead, which I don't know if I can say that. Slitterhead.
Like S-L-I-T-T-E-R?
Yeah, like
Slit, okay.
Yep. A little that sweet horror for
I must
you.
have went to the restroom during the Slitterhead presentation.
I won't ruin it for you then, but you'll see it.
All
You'll be
right.
like, this is freaky.
Okay.
I was like, okay, Corey would probably get a kick out of this.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
Wait. Is that the Silent Hill one?
yes.
Got it. Heard about it. I didn't see it.
Okay,
Didn't
yes.
see the presentation.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
Creator of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
This is his new game.
Yes.
Got it.
Mhm. And some of that was like music too. There's something somebody was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just heard about it. Yeah.
I believe that's this one. Otherwise,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong. And last one, we've seen it before. Forspoken still looks incredible.
Right.
That game looks amazing.
Right.
Very pretty.
This is the PS5 game.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And that's coming soon, right? Like
Yeah.
April?
It's coming quick. Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was a lot at the Game Awards, and we can't cover it all here.
Yeah.
But I was like, we just have to talk about a few of these
Sure.
things quick.
Of course.
And
Of
hopefully
course.
people out there have gotten the chance to check it out. If you haven't, it's on YouTube.
Yep.
Our friend Jeff Keeley,
Yeah.
who's definitely watching this show. Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
He would recommend it.
Sure.
But yeah, we've got plenty to talk about in the next half. So everybody stay right with us because we're going to talk about this little game. It's called Halo Infinite.
Let's do it.
And I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you soon.
Take it to the skies and fly with QCTV. Get a bird's eye view from the cities of Andover and Milka, Champlin, and Ramsey. Weekly news. Sports. Government. And so much more. Check out our award-winning community coverage on social media as well as our website at qctv.org. We are QCTV, and we are here for you.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here talking about where we were, the Video Game Awards, but now we're going to move into Halo Infinite, which is a game that just came out a little while ago. A really big deal. It's got a little nostalgia for me. Before we do that, we have some corrections to make. So first off, not David Chase, David Cage.
Yes, thank you, Ryan, behind the camera
Ryan.
for the correction.
Yes, Ryan's, he's killing it. And 2010, that's when Alan Wake came out.
Good.
So it's been 11, it'll be,
We were
what,
close.
maybe 20, or 22 years. It'll be 11, 12, 13, 14 years before this next one comes out.
Long time.
But yeah, I want to talk about Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Now, they dropped the multiplayer beta a few weeks ago to kind of celebrate Xbox's 20 years in the business, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's what it was for. And
Yeah, they had like a controller release and some other things to celebrate. Some backwards compatible games they released.
It was nice. So that's been out, and I feel like we could talk about that first because that's what I've had more time.
Sure.
And playing it with friends. And for people who aren't familiar, Halo Infinite, a first-person shooter with a long, long history. 5 Halo games in the numbered series before that, and then there's ODST and Reach. So there have been plenty
Halo
of games.
Wars 1 and 2.
Right, those are, the offshoots as well. But moved from Bungie, who made the game in the first place, over to 343, who's had it for a while now. And they've been working on it. They actually showed this game off back in 2020, in like the summer of 2020. Got a lot of criticism, as we should say, for it and how it looked. And Microsoft did something that I was pretty impressed by. And instead of launching Halo earlier than it probably should have been, with the Series X and the Series S that came out in 2020, they decided to wait a year and make sure it was cooked to perfection. And I gotta say, man, Halo multiplayer, baby. Feels just like it used to. Feels great. There's something about it. Like, I was playing it the other night, and I was thinking, I wonder if Capture the Flag seems weird to any of like the younger video game enthusiasts. They're like, why am I bringing this flag all the way across the map and being like, I got it, you know? But I think it still feels just like it always has, in the best way possible. How about for you?
Yeah, I downloaded it. Well, first of all, it was a big surprise. It was like, hey, and it's out. Multiplayer, it's free, and you can play it now. And I jumped in, loved it. My favorite Slayer, I didn't see Slayer right away, so I'm like, that's okay.
I know.
It's coming.
It's out now.
I heard that. I can't wait to check it out.
Multiple versions, too.
Cool.
There's like kind of like SWAT style, too, where it's no shields, battle rifles, like, no radar.
Right.
You know, they call it Tactical Slayer, I believe.
Okay.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately loved it. It's great. It's Halo.
Yeah.
It felt good. And yeah, I bought the Battle Pass, like $7.99.
Okay, cool.
Immediately wasn't satisfied.
Yeah.
Didn't love what I got for my money, but it sounds like they're working on that.
Yes.
Working on those rewards and making the leveling system a little better.
Yeah.
Am I kind of on the right
and
page there?
You bring up a great point, because this is the first time we've seen Halo be a free-to-play thing. So this means that if you do have, an Xbox, a Series XS, Xbox One, or a PC even, and you have an online subscription with the consoles, you can download this game. You can play it for free. However, what Corey's talking about here is that you kind of can purchase this Battle Pass, which when you level up as you play the game on your account, you will have access to like 2 different tiers of like rewards. So it'll be like, here's the free thing, which is like nothing, and like, here's what you could have gotten, which is the nice armor, which is, it's all aesthetic. There's no pay for power or anything like that. But it was kind of criticized heavily because it was such a grind to get anything in the first couple of weeks unless you paid for stuff.
Right.
That was the big thing. Which I kind of miss. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm turning into an older game enthusiast now. But I miss the days when it was like, here's my $65. I get the campaign and the multiplayer and everything in it, just day one. Now it's like you release these things over time. And separately, which is weird. But yeah, so they've been working on that Battle Pass to make it a little more streamlined, I believe, which is nice, because some of the things they would have you do to get experience was like, okay, just play a game, but then it'd be like, get 15 kills with a pistol, which wasn't so bad. But then there'd be more like specific ones that's like, all right, save 5 friends from a distance. You're like, okay, what distance? Like, and that's usually with like a sniper rifle or from a ways away. Which I want to talk about that too, the weapons. The human weapons have always felt good to me in Halo. Like, I love the kick and everything. I'm not as blown away by the new additions and the removal of some of the ones that we had in past games. Are there any new weapons, though, for you that you're like, yeah, this is great?
Yeah, I've always been an MA-40 guy. I love the classic assault rifle. I still have gripes with lack of ammo that they give you in the world. Like Halo's always been like
Stingy.
experimenting with, stingy. They want you to experiment with different weapons. The
Yeah.
kinetic versus the, what's the other ammo type?
Like the plasma or the
Plasma,
energy.
kinetic and plasma, and they obviously we'll get into that with the campaign.
Yep.
I always been a needler guy. I love the needler. There's something really oddly satisfying about that.
I'm still trying to find the optimal range for that thing because I'm always like either too close or too far away.
Right.
It's like that mid-range you got to get.
Mid-range tracking.
Yeah, I'm just like, where are you?
Mid-range
Like,
tracking.
stop running behind a tree.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to blow you up with needles.
Yeah.
The needler.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
And I'll let you set it up. Obviously, we'll get into the story campaign, but my favorite thing is the grappling hook stun melee. It's so good.
I just got it last night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh, I've said this for years, probably on this show. Every incredible game has a grapple hook.
Yeah.
It's a grapple hook.
Ever since Ocarina of Time on the 64.
Well, you know, I wouldn't. No, it's a great game. It's wonderful. But it feels like with that, because they have these kind of little pickup power-ups you can get throughout the game, which in multiplayer, which is the grapple hook. You only get like 5 uses of it. They have a dash. They have this little shield thing you can throw down. Things like that, which are great. But it feels like Halo's always had a grapple hook. Like now that you have it, it's like, wow, it really opens up possibilities. And I forget that I have these things sometimes because I'll be running around, you automatically pick them up. And you're like getting in a firefight. I'm like, oh, I could just like zip over here. Like, you know, or whatever. But that grapple hook, baby.
It's really good. I almost feel bad for the other, I don't know how far you are. I don't want to spoil it too much, but like you get like a shield and you get like a motion tracker. You get a dash. It's like,
motion tracker,
I don't want to use any of it. I want to just keep leveling up that grappling hook because it's so critical to not only combat but traversal in the world. And I'm
amazed and like it's impressive to me as someone who loves Titanfall and Titanfall 2 that they showed restraint with the grapple hook, because they could have put that in multiplayer and been like, everybody gets it, and then it could have been a very different game. I still kind of wish they'd do that, but I get why they don't. It's just like when I pick it up, I'm like, okay, because now you start doing things where you're like, I just shot up to the ceiling and no one knows where I am, and I'm like, and they still get me because I'm not as good as they are. They turn around, they shoot me, and I'm like, oh, okay, still. But yes, grapple hook is incredible. I like the Ravager spike. That thing that's like shoots out that one spike, you can like destroy a vehicle or person in one hit.
Satisfying.
That one's fun.
Very satisfying.
But the other energy weapons, I was like, they're fine. I miss the old carbine. That's not the pulse carbine now. It's like that shoots the 4 blue.
The semi-auto?
Yes, it was like a purple. You'd like load it in the top. It would be like, like that. Like,
isn't there an iteration of that in this though? Or maybe I'm thinking of a different weapon.
Oh yeah, they just call it, I think this one's the pulse rifle.
The pulse rifle,
but not the pulse carbine.
Got it.
I missed
a little
that
different.
One so
Got it.
much. Please, 343, bring it back. Some of that stuff. And I haven't seen it's like the brute shot, the one that like had the melee blade, but you could shoot like little grenade launcher. Kind of thing. I missed that one.
Yeah. Are we getting into single player?
Not yet.
Okay.
I just want to talk about these weapons first, because we will get there.
Because I have thoughts on weapons in single player. I haven't played as much of the multiplayer. So
people with sniper rifles are so good. I have to say that in multiplayer, man, they're so good with them. I'm horrible with it. Sometimes I just get a power weapon and I just shoot it so that way no one else can have it. But the rocket launcher, the spanker as they call it, man, that thing is so much fun. Like it takes, maybe I love it because it doesn't take as much finesse to use, because you just like get it and you kind of aim in a direction and you're like, bye. Oh, I adore it. And the Hydra, which I'm still trying to get good with, kind of like the Needler. You got to get that kind of mid-range lock on with the missiles going off. I like that thing. How do you feel about the Hydra?
So I don't know if that's one I'm familiar with.
It's got like a lock on. You like shoot the missiles and they kind of just track.
Oh yeah. I guess I don't have a whole lot of experience using that one so far.
Okay. Have you tried out the light? I forget what it's called. It's the light gun where it can shoot horizontal and then you can flip it to vertical.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love that thing. It's super fun if you can, and you can like bounce shots too. Like if you hit the floor, it'll like shoot up like that. Wow, that's really cool. Like, some of that stuff I like, and there's like that. It's like a grenade launcher, but it shoots like kind of like like a pulse, or if you charge it up, it shoots like a fiery effect on the ground, which I found way more efficient in multiplayer and single player than multiplayer. Because I'm like, please walk into the damage over time I put on the ground over there.
You're definitely experimenting with more weapons than I am.
I'm trying to.
I'm definitely an AR guy. I love the MA40. That's kind of the classic. And if I can find a sniper rifle, that's what I'm switching to.
Yeah, man.
If I can pick up a needler in between, otherwise I'm throwing grenades, I'm grapple hooking around, and I'm doing a lot of melee.
Dude, melee. I had mapped it to my right bumper for multiplayer, but then I switched it back to clicking in the stick because because you have like an infinite grapple basically in the single player, and I was like, I can't just keep like clicking in the stick.
Yeah. To me, this might sound crazy. The specific weapons have always been less relevant to my Halo play style than the way I'm traversing the world.
Okay.
You know, especially with the introduction of the grapple hook, and obviously I've played a lot more of the campaign than I have the multiplayer.
Yes,
so it's a very different beast. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into multiplayer and experiment with those weapons that you're talking about.
Yeah. I think the light one is called the Heat Wave now.
Heat Wave?
Something like that. It's like a... but no, it's fun and it's hard sometimes because when you play these and you're getting attacked from all sides, you can't choose what you spawn with.
Right.
So you're usually with that assault rifle and a pistol, which I love the pistol. I think the pistol's really good.
Yeah.
It feels great if you can land your shots.
True.
Which is hard for me sometimes.
Well, in Halo too, a lot of times depending on how good you are, a lot of times you'll end up dying before you run out of ammo too. It's quick, it's fast and furious. So, you know, if you can keep that KD ratio up, you know, maybe you're doing a little more experimenting with weapons depending on how good you are.
What can I say? The time to kill too in this, as opposed to many other first-person shooters, is a bit higher because you have the shields and things to consider as well.
Right.
But I just like taking a barrel and like picking up a barrel and throwing that at somebody. I'm like,
that's a lot of fun.
A barrel. Like, you know, I feel like Donkey Kong. Like, that's how Donkey Kong must have felt back with Mario way back in the day.
Yeah. And I'm always chasing the sword still.
Oh,
I'm still chasing the sword.
Like, okay, I get there's like, is it the hammer or is it the sword?
Yeah.
Man, when I get that sword and I just start running.
Especially with the grapple hook. Grapple, sword, you know.
I try to get the sword and the invisibility, so I'm like the Predator.
Oh, sure.
It usually doesn't go the way I want it to. But I'm always like, start like making clicking noises in my head. I'm like, sneak around and get some people. Like, and the beam sword, or energy sword. I've always been amazed. Beam sword was Super Smash Brothers. That's what it was. But energy sword, thank you. I've always been amazed that they made a weapon that is a lightsaber that isn't a lightsaber.
Right.
It's its own thing, and I'm like, come on, you guys. Like, it could have been so easy to have been like.
It would be like holding the hilt, and each side.
It's like Knuckles
comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that energy sword. I'm still trying to figure out like how the lunge works. I've always like each game seems a little different with that.
They tweak it a little bit.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, that hammer though, then the gravity hammer.
Yeah.
It's back with a vengeance. Yeah. Like people are hitting me from across the map with it. I don't know how. Yeah. That shockwave. I'm like, how did you hit me from so far away?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you haven't done too much of the multiplayer stuff.
10 matches at the most.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
As soon as that campaign launched,
you were like, no.
I was in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of wrapping up Ratchet and Clank. I was playing some Deathloop, so that was kind of in that window of that multiplayer. Then once the campaign hit, I jumped in. But I can't wait to go back and play more multiplayer.
Yeah. So. Well, let's talk about the campaign. I just started up last night myself and got through the first couple of hours.
Oh, you just started it last night?
I started last night. I stayed up late.
Wow.
I knew I was coming in today.
Okay.
And I stayed up late to make sure I had an opinion.
Yeah.
I tried.
Good job.
For the show, for you guys.
Good job. Have you just been busy or did you wait to play?
I've been busy.
You've been busy. Okay.
Busy, man.
That makes sense.
I wanted to, but every night was like hanging out with the folks or like editing things. Because I was coming back from California at the time, so I was I want to play this. It just came out. And people are talking about it.
That makes sense because I could not wait to get in. Yeah. So you've been busy. That makes sense.
But I've got like 3 or 4 hours in.
Okay.
So
good.
The beginning, very much classic Halo.
Yeah.
You're fighting through the ships, kind of Doom-esque in a way.
Right.
But then the big thing is that this game cracks open.
Yes.
And it's a little more Far Cry-esque.
And
I don't mean that in a reductive or mean way.
Sure.
I love Far Cry.
Sure.
But having like outposts, forward operating bases, high-value targets, rescue missions, all this stuff.
Side missions.
All these things.
All sorts of stuff.
So I played kind of like one of each almost last night because I was like, I gotta try these all out.
Yeah.
And man, it was so cool. And all I was thinking was like, I can't wait for the co-op to come.
Right.
Because they don't have that right now. Co-op and Forge mode to like make your own multiplayer matches and stuff. That's still not here.
Do they still not have couch co-op in this yet either?
No.
That's a bummer.
I don't believe so.
That's a bummer. Okay.
I would like to be wrong about that.
I haven't even attempted it, so
Yeah.
I just actually finally bought a second controller to play It Takes Two, which we'll talk about next month.
Nice.
Loving it so far, but I finally have a second Xbox controller. Haven't tried the couch co-op, so it sounds like it's not out yet.
Yeah, no. Are you
Okay.
playing that with the wife?
I am.
Okay, good.
It might be my game
I
of the
know,
year.
I
I'm
know
not
we
gonna
talked
say it
about
yet.
playing it together, so
Yeah.
I guess I need to find someone else.
Once it hit Game Pass, I was like, okay. But we'll talk about that
Yeah,
next
yeah,
month.
no, no.
We'll talk about that next month.
But I gotta say, I love the freedom and the feel of it, and it's so interesting to not have the straightforward mission type for Halo like this, like to have this big map, and they're just like, you have to figure out where you want to go. There's the big missions, you can see them, and they don't, at least where I am right now, they haven't like overpopulated the map with a bunch of icons that are like,
Right.
I
It's not
can't even-
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there doesn't seem to be any kind of like superfluous like go hunt 5 of these things
Right.
yet kind of quests.
Right.
But it's cool. It's really
Yeah.
nice to like, I don't know, try it, evolve the Halo formula.
Right.
Obviously, like, you know, ever since Breath of the Wild came out, it's
Yeah.
hard for me not to think of games that do
course.
this kind of like
Yeah.
that. But with the grapple hook,
Yeah.
you know, going wherever you want,
Right.
doing that. But how many hours have you played?
Probably, I would say anywhere between 5 and 6
Okay, nice.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm on like the 3rd or 4th main campaign mission,
Sure.
but I've been doing a lot of the other side stuff as well.
Okay.
Rescuing Spartans from the outposts.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Kind of liberating camps and stuff, like
Nice.
kind of that Far Cry stuff that you mentioned.
There are other Spartans.
Or not Spartans, like
Marines.
sorry,
Okay,
yeah,
I was-
Marines.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I only found like dead Spartans.
Well, yeah,
We'll get to it,
you will find
Cool.
you will find Spartans,
Cool.
but Marines.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah. And they like will like hang out at outposts if you can like unlock them, and then they'll hop in a warthog with you.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And some of them are actually captured to like these posts.
That's
so
great.
they're like actually in prison, and you can actually save them
so
from.
cool.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much, but
and they guard that area. I don't know if can outposts or forward operating bases be retaken by bad guys, by the banished,
well, there is the banished, but there's also
another group.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just to back up a little bit, like. Huge props to 343 for turning this around. I think we need to say that. You mentioned
Yeah.
it briefly in the
Oh, gosh.
beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the negative outcry was unjust.
Yeah.
I think people need to chill out.
Yeah.
Like, sending death threats to Halo
Yeah,
developers is like...
Guys, lay off the jack.
Yeah, I'd lay off the jack. But I'm glad they did. I mean, look at what happened to Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously, they wanted to avoid that scenario.
Yep.
It was heartbreaking that the new Xbox did not launch with Halo.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Worth the wait.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
far, I can confidently say this is my favorite Halo game ever.
Amazing.
I've been having so much fun with
Yes.
the campaign.
Yes.
I can't put it down.
Yeah.
I put everything aside to play this game.
Cool. Good on you.
You know, obviously, there's some story things that I don't fully understand. I'm like, I don't remember that from Halo 4 or 5. Those
Sure.
are some of my favorite Halo games, but apparently a lot of this is coming from Halo Wars 2. Which I did not play.
Okay, yep, neither
So
did
I had
I.
to go, I dug that up because I was like, wait, what's going on here? So that's my biggest problem with this
Okay.
game, is I really don't know what's going on. Obviously, I understand the Cortana stuff.
Yeah.
There's a new AI. I think she's very good. I think she's very witty. She provides the kind of humor balance in the game,
Sure.
for lack of better words. Master Chief has always just been this kind of wooden
Stoic.
figure. Yeah, this character. He drives forward. He saves the day. There's not much else to that character.
Yeah.
So having this new AI is important, and I think she's really clever. And I think the actor or actress that does the voice does a really good job. So aside from the goofy story stuff, just the game is just so much fun. The freedom, the traversal, the weapons. I think it looks fantastic. I'm playing on a Series S, so I'm not even playing on an X. It runs very smooth, 60 frames, consistent, doesn't hitch. Huge props to the technology behind this game. I just love the freedom to go and do what I want in a Halo, playground.
Yeah.
In terms of playing the game, I think it'd be very difficult to go back to any of the ones in the Master Chief Collection
Sure.
after playing Infinite.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear
you.
you.
Know what I mean? They've made some quality of life improvements that I can finally say, like, they've nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun.
That's great. That's so cool. You know, I miss, Corey. And I know people hated it. I miss the ground pound.
Oh,
I wish they'd give it to Chief in the single player.
Yeah.
Because this makes me feel more like Master Chief than any other Halo has ever done. Because you're like, you grapple over, you grab a barrel, and you whip the barrel at somebody, and then you jump over here and you're shooting other people, or the Banished, which were just like, former Covenant, and they went off and did their own thing, but it's basically the Covenant. But man, you're right. It feels so special. Yeah. It feels, and you know what? I've never even been the biggest fan of Master Chief, but just seeing him, he might be one of the most iconic characters of video games ever. Right. And I like it. I think I'm like, obviously it's Mario and stuff like that, but like when you just see him in those cutscenes, I'm just like, there's the Chief. Like he's just this 8 foot tall, like I'm done talking kind of guy. Right. Like, but yeah, you're right. He's very no nonsense. And running around with him in an open world where he's very like the guy that you're working with who saved you. Sure. Like a Pelican pilot. Right. In the beginning. He's just like, what are you gonna do? There's only 2 of us left. And Chief's just like, well, there's still hope. Yeah. And like that's exactly. He'd be like, I'm gonna tear these guys down piece by piece. Yeah, I got this. And that's what this game feels like, even more so. And again, kind of like Far Cry, where you're like, okay, there's some evil dictator. I have to destroy all their operations or outposts and things like that to kind of bring down their power in the region, and you're fighting on a huge, like a Halo ring that has been kind of destroyed, but it's still operational. Just see the Return of the Jedi for Star Destroyer, or Death Stars that look like they're damaged and not done, but they're ready to go. But one thing I do want to bring up, because we wanted to talk about the differences of like the kinetic versus the energy weapons, and how they have different ammo types. Exactly. Right? And that's where they have kind of refilling them. Right. What do you think of that? Yeah, so there's if you open up the map, there's little spots that you can go get upgrades. Yeah. And they're identified on the map, which I love that, by the way. It's nice. So the map is great. The GPS is fantastic. So getting around the world feels really good. It's quick. And that's one thing that I really love about it. And obviously you have the warthogs and you can steal the ghosts. By the way, grappling onto a ghost, kicking him off, that whole transition. I don't know if you've tried that yet. Yes. It's so satisfying. Yes. You're like, this is mine now. Yeah, so those little markers on the map where you go very specifically to get an upgrade, you'll find different weapons there. Yes. So that's what I wanted to talk about. When you were talking about the weapons in the beginning, that's why I didn't really have a lot to say, because that's where you're really going to find some unique weapons is in those locations. Yeah. Sometimes there'll even be like a little mini boss there. I just can't overstate the Breath of the Wild-esque stuff that they really injected into this game. I can't overstate also the scope and scale of this game, how big it feels. Yeah. It's really impressive. Yeah. Without feeling overwhelming. Without feeling overwhelming. Yeah. So it's easy to get around. You always know where you're going. There's freedom, there's choice, there's scope and scale. Yeah. And everything else is just kind of Halo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. Okay, it's been there, done that. Yeah. You got the assault rifle, feels good. And it's very Halo-y. Yeah. Like the physics, the ragdoll effects, everything. It's almost like they're still using the same game engine that they did back in 2001 with the original Halo, Combat Evolved. So I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, and it's funny, one of the first things I did last night is they were like, here's a high-value target, go get him. Right. I died to him a few different times, but the checkpoint was so forgiving. Yeah. And he was a cloaked elite with a sword. Right. And once I killed him, they're like, all right, my AA is like, yeah, actually, that's a really cool sword, and I've copied it, now you can access it at other bases or whatever. I was like, well, I can have an energy sword forever. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. I was like, now we're talking. That is something different. The only other thing I'll say is this game is brutally difficult. It can be, yeah. I think it's very tough. Yeah. There has been a few times where I was like, wow, I have so many other games to get to. I might have to drop this to easy. Like I might have to do it just so I can get through it. Because what are you playing on? Normal? Normal. Yeah, me too. And it's not like a Dark Souls struggle or a Cuphead struggle. It's nothing where I need to like walk away from this. Yeah. But I think this is the most difficult Halo game they've put out, in my opinion. Well, and it's interesting you say that, because in some, I know what you mean with like the ammo being like a problem where you have to drop a gun and grab a new gun. Right. But one thing that is nice is that I'm guessing on harder difficulties, there are probably ways to kind of manipulate or abuse the system.
Sure.
Meaning like, okay, I finally got that sniper rifle. I'm going to go back and find that guy who I was having a problem with. And it's like, there you are. Like,
Totally. Well, you can upgrade your shield.
The shield.
Back to those upgrades.
Which, yes, I want to bring that up. You did mention that there's an upgrade for the grapple that you have.
Right.
That if you hit somebody with it, it'll stun them, leaves them right open for a nice melee hit.
Yeah, exactly.
But just like that little upgrade system, it's incremental, but it feels
just
exponential.
wait till you can increase the cooldown.
Yeah, like by 40
reduce the
seconds,
cooldown.
I'm gonna be Spider-Man.
You're like God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you
like,
become a God. Yeah, it's
like,
just so much fun.
I love that flipping grapple hook so much. I love it so much. And
I just feel like all those elements thrown into a pot of stew has just perfected the Halo formula.
Oh my gosh, totally.
You know,
and it's brought it up to date because, like you said, there's the stuff feels like essential Halo, but now it's also feeling like it's not just like a linear campaign mission, go do it, and then next mission. You know.
The Far Cry comparison's fair. I just think it's so much more than that.
Sure.
You know?
There's not the customization of weapons and stuff. I think that's going to be the next, if they made another one or whatever else.
Sure.
There's not like, you just kind of get what you have. And,
right.
Or like I said, you get those special weapons and you have to bring them out.
Yeah.
I will say this, I tried to get a Scorpion tank through a canyon because I wanted to go fight the sword guy with a tank. So I was like, and then I grabbed the sword and I was like, no, I will do this honorably.
Yeah, that's super funny. But again, the freedom and choice. It's just something we haven't always seen in Halo games.
I think they knew I was trying to do it correctly. Because I got it down the canyon, I was like, I can't get you.
That's so funny.
I love that. And I think we're going to see not only crazy stuff from the multiplayer and Forge mode eventually, but for this campaign, the co-op stuff. Man, like, you know, Breath of the Wild-esque first-person shooter with a friend.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be great.
And, like, just like, if you're saying, I'm having a problem with this, Jimmy, can you hop in?
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Let's go take him. You know what I mean?
The best thing you have now, again, like you said, is liberating camps, and you'll have AI jump on the Warthog with you. That stuff still feels good.
Oh my gosh, it feels great. I was so hard last night because I was like, I'm just gonna play a little bit, and then it cracked open to the open world, and then I felt that pull that was like, whoa, like I'm getting sucked in. It's gonna be like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll be like, I just need to liberate one more forward operating base. I'm just so happy that it came out, and it's you know, like we said, it has had some issues with the battle pass and the multiplayer, but the campaign itself seems to be resonating with most people. And I'm sure there are purists out there who would like it to be just straightforward, but it still seems like those missions are there, sprinkled throughout. It's kind of like classic Zelda dungeons.
Sure.
You have them, you know, that's what people really missed in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I think the next Breath of the Wild will have that, and I think this game still has those moments, those big. Speaking of set pieces, in the beginning, when you're jumping throughout the cargo ship,
very cool.
That took me a few tries to do because I was being stupid. I was jumping around. I was like, I'm gonna grapple over here, and then I was like, Master Chief died.
You were trying to complicate it.
I was trying to complicate it. I was like having too much fun. I was like, okay, how do I?
That was a great sequence, by the way. The confidence he had. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, very Uncharted-esque, which I really do love. But yeah, my gosh, I could talk to you all day about this, and we probably will. But I appreciate you being here and letting me stop
Welcome back.
Thank
we'll have to catch up later. Hope everything's going okay in California.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I always want to try to drop back in when I can.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody else who's watching. Again, my name is Jimmy Good. This is Corey Lang over here. If you want to see Corey or hear his beautiful voice, he does a bunch of stuff here on QCTV. And honestly, I'm not lying. I swear they didn't pay me to say this. I have been watching QCTV stuff on YouTube. And it just warms my heart.
Well, that's nice. Thanks for watching.
I'm just like, a taste of home. So go check them out on YouTube. Check us out everywhere. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, you guys take care. Bye-bye.